Hi Joe, how are you?
Hello, Scott. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, thank you. Yes, all the better for seeing your film on Friday, which was wonderful, I have to say.
Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the lovely. It was a strange experience crying with a mask on. That was a first. That's always a fun thing, I
Yeah,
suppose.
we did a bit of that on set too.
You better that on the set as well.
Yeah.
Tell me about you getting involved with this one, because I know that Cyrano has obviously been around for a long time. There's lots of different versions. What was it about this version that kind of piqued your interest in the first instance?
Well, I've always loved the story. I've always, as a teenager, I loved it. I remember feeling quite recognized in a way by the story. I felt sort of unlovable and unworthy of affection, and so I always loved the story. And then Haley Bennett invited me to see the workshop she was doing with Peter Dinklage in a tiny theatre called the Chester Theatre in Connecticut. And I went and saw that and was really blown away by the power of Peter Dinklage's performance with Haley, and the kind of authenticity that taking away the nose and allowing the emotions free reign gave the story. It was a way of accessing the character that I hadn't seen before and that I felt was kind of modern and fresh and something that I really wanted to take to a broader audience.
Yeah, my first entry to it was Roxanne.
Right. Yeah. I love that one too. Absolutely.
Very, 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 very different, obviously, but it's nice
Yeah.
to see all the different versions.
Yeah, I definitely had a Steve Martin phase in my teenage years too.
He is my hero. I'll just put that on the record. So I
Okay.
watched Roxanne immediately after watching Cyrano on Friday night. I couldn't help myself.
Oh, that's good.
It's a good double bill. They should put it on.
Right.
It's a good double bill. In terms of making a musical for you as a filmmaker, how difficult is it? Because the logistics are slightly different, and obviously, I mean, did you allow them to sing live? Was it a pre-recorded,
Yep.
or was it kind of a mix?
No, all the singing was done live, which kind of gives the musical numbers a sense of intimacy and a sense of naturalism. I'm not a huge fan of musicals in general, really. I find them a bit kind of artificial. So I wanted to find a way to make this feel as natural as speaking or breathing even. So doing the live vocals was a way into doing that. The songs are also quite sort of often quite contemplative and internal. The play, as you know, the original Rostand play involves long monologues, which I don't think an audience can accept these days, not in film anyway. Whereas, so what we did is we turned those monologues into songs.
Yeah, that was actually my next question, because I know in the book there is a lot of, and I was like, I feel like that's part of the book, which is very clever. I thought it was a very clever way of doing it. You've been blessed with some amazing casts in your past film. This one, no different. You must have been over the moon to, they always say, casting's quite a big part of the job in terms of directing. When you get people like this and the ensemble like this, I mean, did it make your job easier?
Yeah, totally. I mean, if you've made the wrong decision in casting, then it's always very, very difficult. Luckily, the decisions for this movie were the right ones, and it was a joy to watch. And at a certain point, once you've been through the rehearsal process, I always do like 3 weeks rehearsals with the actors. Once you've been through that process and maybe get into the second or third week of shooting, the actors know who the characters are and they understand the style of the filmmaking. Then it's almost like you have a kind of front row seat. You sit there with the camera next to you and the actors right there, and you get to witness what they bring to life. And if you've done it right, then only small adjustments are required in the notes you give the actors.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best with the film. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
And I will see you at the premiere this evening.
Oh, great. I'll see you there.
Hopefully chat again there.
Yeah. All right, mate.
Take care.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!